Today on episode 15 of the Home of Play podcast, Cyberpunk delayed again. Our EA Play Live 2020 reactions and Crash Bandicoot lives. All that and more. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 15 of the Home of Play podcast, where two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews, and that's because we're PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I am joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, Christopher.
Hello, hello.
If you like this and would like to support the Home of Play podcast, please use the power of the word of mouth. Every month we are growing, and it's all because of you lovely gamers helping to spread the cause. If you could also subscribe on your podcast service of choice and rate us 5 stars on iTunes or any other podcast service that allows it. If you have a burning question, comment, or complaint, we want to hear from you. Please send either of those to our email address at homeofplaypodcast@gmail.com, and we can read your questions on the show or alone in private while weeping uncontrollably. On today's episode, we have 5 news articles to discuss, as well as our Last of Us 2 current impressions from me and Chris. But first, as always, let's begin with what we've been up to this last week. Chris, what have you been up to all week?
This weekend I finished off XCOM Chimera Squad, which was a really good game. It was really good. I wouldn't pay full price. I think when it first came out, it was automatically on sale. I think it was like 20% off or something on launch, which was pretty good. Definitely enjoying it. It had lots of bugs at the beginning. They've been mostly patched out for the most part, but I like it. I like that style of game. And it's pretty fun the way that you do these breach modes where you breach into each encounter and you kind of get all your characters get to shoot off first, and it's pretty cool. What else have I played? I jumped on Rage 2 a little bit more. Didn't do too much in that. Did a couple rounds of Rainbow Six Siege because I was bored. And then, I got the Spyro trilogy remastered, reignited, I guess is what it's called. So that's fun. Brings back a lot of childhood memories, replaying that and
Nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia, and that company did a really good job remastering or bringing back those all back to life. So those have been good. And then I guess most recently, the last 2 days, I've been playing Last of Us 2, which I'm not very far into yet. Unfortunately, the way my TV's positioned in my living room, it was like the sunlight was coming through the curtains and it was too bright on the screen, so I had to wait till a later time to play it because the game can be overly dark at some parts.
Spoiler alert, it is all dark all the time.
So, yeah, it was hard to see what was going on the TV, which you definitely need to see. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Shut your mouth. We still have impressions to talk about
I know.
At the end of the show.
Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what I've done game-wise this week. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. How about yourself? Have you been playing anything?
I've been finally finding time to do all sorts of fun things.
You're on holidays this week, right?
Yep, and next. So I finally gone around to do some things. Plus, PlayStation switched up some sales. So I started the week with some more Civ 6. Just found to not like it a lot. Not that I'm like smart enough to really get all the aspects of that. But I just, for whatever reason, 5 just seemed like, for me, the better game. So I played a little more 6, put a lot of hours into it in the early part of the week until I eventually found a speed that I was comfortable with / difficulty setting. And then, I thought I was doing amazing and then lost the game, and it rewarded me by not even telling me why I lost or even why that country won or anything. So I kind of was like, okay, I guess that's great. I'll just delete you and keep playing 5 whenever the fancy strikes me. So delete that off my computer. And from there, got lucky. PlayStation on, I believe it was Tuesday, introduced like a 75% off sale. I saw Dishonored 2, I should specify. And I was like, you know what? I talk about this game all the time. I remember loving 1. I did try 2 a year or 2 ago. And for some reason it didn't click, but then I'm like, is that because of me? Maybe I didn't like the female protagonist. What if I try to play again as Corvo? So I saw it on like pretty good deal. Even crazier, I continued on and I saw it bundled with Prey for somehow cheaper, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why two games would be cheaper than one, unless they're trying to just falsely get some kind of numbers game of being like, oh, look how many copies of Prey we sold, when secretly it's like, well, no, I just wanted Dishonored 2, and you kind of almost forced me to go this way, because obviously...
I've seen that in a couple other deals before. I think Assassin's Creed has even done one where it's like you could buy just this game or get 3 of the Assassin's Creeds for an even cheaper price than the other one by itself.
It makes sense, I guess, but it's just kind of dirty logistics, maybe, to me anyway. It feels that way. So I got it, played a butt ton, like so much that even like after getting Last of Us, I'm now torn where I kind of want to play Dishonored still more. And that's not saying it's a better game. It's just, I guess it's where my head is currently, and I'm having a lot of fun with that type of game. It's Dishonored to me, it's not perfect. There's problems. It's, I wouldn't even call it like a AAA. Though it's probably close, if not to some people is, but it's just what it does well, and in my opinion, it's a better Hitman.
Yeah. With a BioShock sort of esque.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair, and so I'm just enjoying the heck out of that, and then obviously, like I already touched on, got Last of Us 2 as well, and then I think I'm forgetting something, but I think there's even another game I tried out a little bit, so. It was a pretty good packed week. Oh, yeah, I guess there's a little more Persona. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then I kept staring at my computer contemplating the now Persona 4 on Steam. But I have a hard time believing I'm going to like it as much as 5.
Yeah, I know. I have one buddy I work with, and I think he's actually said he's preferred the older ones. So I judge it as you will. I'm not sure.
And that's what I'm thinking. The people that love it, love it. Like, I know... I read some guy's opinion online, and he said it was one of his favorite. He was currently playing 5 Royal, and now that it was released on Steam, he went back to 4 because he just prefers it. And I'm like, okay, like that's... I have a hard time understanding it, but I haven't played it. So I do feel at some point I will play it. Like, now that it's on Steam, it just seems that much more accessible to me.
What was the original release console for that one?
PS2.
That was PS2, hey?
Yeah.
So the PC Steam version, is that been remastered?
It's the I shouldn't be quoted on it, but I'm pretty sure it's the golden version that came to Vita, which was kind of like Royal for Vita.
Okay.
And then now that's on this. So people are saying it's a good port from what I understand.
Yeah, I'll have to maybe look up a couple trailers or something for it just to see.
But it just...
My problem is I'm going to be comparing it to the new one.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh man... Persona 4 is copying Persona 5 because I'm playing it in the wrong order.
Yeah, well, not exactly, but I know I heard good things about the story and whatnot. I just, I'm at that opposite end now where most people would describe me as limited. Like, they're like, oh, you don't like this, you don't like indie games, you don't whatever. So sometimes I cause a problem in my own life where I feel there's just no games to play. And now I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum where now I'm like, damn, there's too much stuff. And do I want to play Last of Us? Do I want to play Dishonored? Do I want to go back to like Civ 5? Do I want to play Persona 4? I still have to be 5 Royal. I'm just like, oh wow, like this is my time of the year where I'm like, there's too much.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you having more than one game at a time to
and
play.
Being happy about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'll save my talk for Last of Us at the end of the episode if you're curious of how we're feeling, both of us. I do... I can't speak for everyone, but I like that me and Chris differ on a lot of things. I'm more hardcore critical about things most of the time. I'm just open about that. That's just the way I am. Where Chris is usually gentler, and if that's a word.
Yeah, I'm more open to...
Gentler's
other,
not a word.
gentler. But I'm more open to... I don't want... more creative styles, I guess. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but... Definitely more flexible in what's enjoyable, I guess. I don't know. Like it's...
Well, I just find you're kinder.
Like a cheapy game, like something... I don't want to throw out a game just because I just said cheapy, but something like I know it's a pretty popular one. I haven't played it myself, but like Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
I know that's a pretty popular game. But when you look at something like that, I've seen people try to do speed runs of it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I guess I'm more open to understanding why people are enjoying those types of games.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you wanted to talk about Super Meat Boy, you'd be like, okay, next. Next game.
Yeah,
I get what it is. Next, I'm not going to play this type of thing.
Yeah, I obsess of what.
That's just an example of a game, by
yes.
the way. Just throwing that out there. Like, there's definitely.
And I feel like that's why I want people to listen to our impressions because they're getting both spectrums. If you lean more on the side of me where you're a little more critical, you're very picky with what you're laying your money down with, you might like my opinion. If you're someone that's more glass half full, you might like Chris's opinion. And I feel like that's where we're a good contrast together.
And we're not the only opinions. That's either.
No, for sure.
Obviously, we want to hear people's opinions. And
yeah, and if you have a different opinion, if you really don't like my opinion, let's say you think I only play 10 minutes of God of War, for instance, and then you think that is me calling myself a true gamer. Well, no, I just put in. I'm ahead of Chris actually for once in my life. I'm 9 hours into Last of Us 2.
Yep.
Dishonored. I've already in just a few days again because I'm on holidays, but I'm already past like 10, 15 hours in that. Civ, like that's not a AAA. I usually kind of do it to myself. I usually say I'm a AAA guy, but let's be serious. There's some double A's, maybe even if we want to call them single A's, that sometimes do strike my fancy.
Well, I mean, we played Overcooked and we had a lot of fun with that. And that's just a really basic game. It's done well.
Yep.
But it's
well, me and you are looking to play some Divinity 2 Original Sin there. Yeah. So I don't think that'd be classified as a AAA.
Although I mean, people would raise it to a higher standard because of the
people that love it. I could definitely see.
Sure.
There's reasons to admire that. Yeah. Yes. And it came like a storm. I think a lot of people didn't even know that developer when it first came out, and just through their own like what they've been putting out, they're making a staple, a name for themselves.
Yeah, I know for sure. And like I said, we're always interested and curious about other people's opinions. So if you want to let us know about your opinion, send us an email at thehomeofplaypodcast@gmail.com.
Okay, now that we're caught up, I say we just jump into the news. Starting with article number 1, Cyberpunk 2077 delayed yet again. Surprise. This one comes from IGN, and I will give it to Chris.
CD Projekt Red has announced that Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed from September 17th to November 19th. Ooh, that's a huge gap. In a letter from CD Projekt Red co-founder Marcin Iwinski and head of studio Adam Badowski, they explained how ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we are fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust, and trading trust for additional time is one of the hardest decisions a game developer can make. Iwinski and Badowski continued, and despite we think it's the right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intention is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that will stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did. At the time we are writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished both content and gameplay-wise. The quests, cutscenes, the skills and items, all the adventures Night City has to offer, it's all there. But with such an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we need to properly go through everything, balance game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. A huge world means a huge number of things to iron out, and we will spend the additional time doing exactly that. They finish by confirming that Cyberpunk 2077 will still be having its Night City Wire presentation on June 25th, which I guess is coming up this week, and that previews of Cyberpunk 2077 will be live right after, including IGN's. Not ours, though, because we don't get previews of nothing.
No.
I don't know what to say about this one. I'm so sad.
So we're going to start this with Steve was right.
Yeah, you were right.
I was right. I called this on a previous episode, if anyone remembers. And I'm pretty sure I said something like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is delayed yet again.
Well, yeah, and you backed that up by saying you hadn't heard of anybody getting any review copies of the game yet.
Not even review copies. It's the fact that even the people deepest in the industry, no one has physically touched this game. It's always been, I think, 2 showings, if I'm correct. There's only been 2 showings, and each time they're playing it in front of a room just watching it.
Yeah.
Which tells me that they were just not comfortable showing anything, which usually tells me you're having development hell.
Yep.
And that's why I guessed, well, you can call it a guess or just like, reading, the room and just saying, this isn't ready. It clearly can't be ready. Final Fantasy Square Enix has one of the worst track histories for release dates, and even they were letting people play Final Fantasy VII. It got delayed, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't,
Wasn't
6
substantial
months
either.
with another 2 months on top of that.
Yeah. Not like Kingdom Hearts.
No, nothing.
Let's not go there.
Or 15, honestly.
Yeah, well. And I mean, we've talked about this already a couple times now. I mean, it's like, I keep saying they have the pedigree. We support them, all this kind of stuff. And it gets to the point where it's like, just tired of the delays. Like, I mean, I'm one who wants a polished game. I want that game to be coming out and not necessarily need like a day one patch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't care if it does, but I mean, it when a game's released, that should be the final copy in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is our stamp of approval of what we want the game to be. Sure, there are games that will have bugs, and you can go back into the days where like Super Nintendo games and cartridge-based games, they had bugs, and once they were out, right?
Yep.
But I mean, with the new system patching and all that kind of stuff, it's just sad. It's like I want this to come out, and that's a huge delay.
Well, after just doing a 6-month delay.
Yeah, September to November, and this also brings up the question: do they think multiplayer is going to be ready now? Because multiplayer was supposed to be put on hold for what sounded like it was going to be quite a while. It didn't sound like a year, but it sounded like less than a year, maybe 6-9 months, maybe.
I mean, it's probably already delayed to like 2030.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's going to be out in 2077. Surprise.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like they've had the 9 months now of delays, or they will have 9 months in November. Is multiplayer ready? Like, not that I'm a huge care about the multiplayer, but it's just something else the game promises to have but doesn't have right
This
away.
brings up 2 different problems for me with the industry. And we can touch on each of them, but my first one is like, are some games just getting too big? If it's starting to get closer to 8 years of a development time, like, do we need to start pulling back?
Maybe.
In my opinion, yes. I don't, now, and I'm a weird person, but now that I'm in my 30s, I think about my mortality more. And every time you think about, I sum things up, like, let's say the first saga of Marvel movies, well, that was 10 years. How many more of these can I have before I'm not here? And same with these games. If you're telling me, once we have this game, that I have to wait another 7 to 8 years for the next Cyberpunk or like Witcher or whatever it ends up being, like, do I only get, doing rough math and say I have an early death, do I only get 3 more CD Projekt Red games before I'm dead? Like, that's depressing as
it could be, yeah.
I just think what's too big, right? Like, if it's delay after delay, and they keep bringing up, oh, well, it's so big. I'm like, is it too big? Because Witcher 3 was damn big. Like, I don't think anyone's played Witcher 3 and been like, that's too small.
Yeah,
that's too
There's
short
not
of a game.
To do.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
And that's my fear with this too. And maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's the systems. There's a lot of room for error here, but
it's different too because Witcher is all open land, huts and houses. A city game is different because you're dealing with more complexes and stuff. So it's like, Are they having to go and actually put things on every single floor of the building, or is it just stock images from the outside the building for buildings you can't get into? And the buildings you could get into, those ones have the detail, right?
And that's my worry about when it comes out is they keep bringing up how big this is, but my fear is it comes out and it's just like any other wannabe city game, like let's say Grand Theft Auto, where there's a lot of buildings you can't go in and there's a lot of things you can't do and there's a lot of areas that aren't totally useful and aren't really meaningful, and why do they even exist?
Mm-hmm.
And if that does happen, I think it's going to kind of make this sing even a little louder.
Another thing to mention too is with this getting postponed now to November, that's getting close to the next console launches. They haven't confirmed the dates, but November is probably what it's going to be.
It's I assume the new consoles, PlayStation 3 was November 17th.
Yeah.
So this is 2 days after my birthday,
I'm wondering if I should be canceling my pre-order and now confirming the pre-order for the PS5 version of the game, or I guess I don't think they've confirmed yet if it's going to be free. like if you get it on PS4 to PS5.
Shit, they have
I know
not.
the Xbox confirmed that, but I don't think
Yeah.
PlayStation's confirmed it. It's assumed, but not confirmed.
Okay, sorry. It is confirmed backwards compatible.
So if you have the
PS4 version,
it'll
will
work in the PS5 system.
They're saying day one, yes.
But will there be a PS5 version of the game that just
Yes.
runs better?
That's coming. We can talk about that more in the next article.
Okay.
But there is more information on that. Now I'm just trying to remember what my second point was about all this. Oh, yeah, there we go. One of the gripes I've been having more and more, I find frequently, is like I'm starting to have less patience with companies that do this that also announce their games 7 years early. You know, like that's my biggest problem. You know, we see you're not going to get a lot of EA compliments from me, but just talking about like we'll breach on or talk about later is the Squadron game, and that one just gets revealed now and it's out in under 6 months.
And that one was a leak from what it sounded like too.
In Fallout 4, same thing. They brought it up on E3 and said you get in October. I think there just needs to be more of that. And I don't, even some games, I guess if they're huge, 2 years is okay. I think that's acceptable. But anything more than that is ridiculous.
I think people know the big games. Like you just have to say that they're working on it, and then people are like, okay. Like I mean, them mentioning briefly about Elder Scrolls that there's going to be another one.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be another one. It's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
So, not hearing anything in how many years was it when they did that announcement?
Ooh, that was last E3.
Last E3. And it's like, oh yeah, we don't have anything to show anybody about it. Don't ask us about it. It's like, well, don't tell us 7 years before when it's going to come out.
Yep. Well, and same with the Insomniac last week revealing that Miles Morales game, and it's coming out already in a holiday. Like this is the way to do it. Like that brings the ultimate level of hype, in my opinion, where you hear about a game and you're like, I can't wait to play that, and then they tell you, oh, and you only have to wait 6 months. Holy crap! That's amazing. Like that is the two best things that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
And is to like hear about a game you want and then to know you'll be able to play it the same year. I love that. That should be the staple in my opinion. Maybe there's some going ons in the background that they're like, oh, well, we can't keep investor like happy if we don't talk about these games ahead of time.
I mean, I can understand like CD Projekt Red. From what I understand, they only work on maybe just the one project at a time, maybe two projects. Like I think
they're growing now. Like I thought they had 2 or 3 development teams at this point.
Yeah, there's still a team I think patching Witcher 3.
Well, and like there's that team that did the Gwent game.
Yeah, the Gwent one. So they are, but they're not where it's like when you compare them to like Square Enix is like they're throwing so much stuff out.
Yeah.
Different types of games all over the place, not just Final
Fantasy. But Square Enix also is a producer, right? They've produce Crystal Dynamic games, but you know, that's not really the original Square Enix team.
So, I mean, I understand how things can take a little bit longer. It's a new IP. You want it to be done right when it comes out. You don't want an anthem. So, I mean, I understand it. It's just maybe they told us about the game too soon.
Yes.
Because, like, they didn't, and even the stuff that we've seen online, it's pretty much the same. Like you said, it's the same 3 videos, just different people analyzing it differently and different things like that. Or some people say they've seen some stuff from behind, like in closed rooms, but it's still the same stuff everybody sees, just maybe a different route or something like that.
That's what it sounds like.
So they're not showing a lot of new stuff. So it's stuff they probably could have definitely held back.
And like, who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words on, I believe it's Thursday or Friday when their conference happens.
The Nightwire live event thing.
So once that happens, maybe I'll eat my words. I don't know. But I just, I can't help but feel overly aggressive about this like update. You know, again, it sucks that I even called this and that I'm right. I would have preferred to be wrong, honestly, in this scenario. It's just, oh my gosh. So it's a 5-month delay from April to like September, and then now you're tacking on another 2. Like that's, you know, you're closer to a full year than not at that point.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy, especially to have like such you know, last E3 it was like you had Keanu Reeves tell everyone you made that man lie to me, and then, like that man I hold dear in my heart. I don't want to think of him as a liar. Don't turn Keanu Reeves into a liar. He's
Yeah.
Bill and Ted. You don't make Ted or Bill. I don't remember which one he played, but you don't make him lie to me.
You don't put Neo in a corner.
No, like goddamn. So, unfortunately, that's some news, and we all have to live with that apparently.
But this also kind of rolls into our second topic.
And our second topic, Cyberpunk 2077, free next-gen upgrade coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in 2021. This one also comes from IGN. Chris.
You mean like 2022? Because I love how it says 2021.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red has confirmed that a free, more robust next-gen upgrade will arrive on PS5, Xbox Series X in 2021, in addition to the PS4 and Xbox One versions, both being played on next-gen consoles at launch. As reported by Gamatsu, the news has revealed in a conference call conducted by the developer yesterday. CD Projekt Red CEO Adam Kaczynski answered questions in the wake of the game's November delay, which was revealed yesterday. This is his quote. At some point, we're going to have a more robust update for the next gens, which we're planning to give free of charge to anyone who purchased the PS4 or Xbox One version. But in any case, you will be able to play the game on the next gens from the 19th of November when the game releases, and it will look better than on the next gens from that moment. As for when the upgrade patch will launch, Kaczynski is not sure, and it could be subject to a delay, no shock there, but said that CD Projekt Red currently plans to release the update in 2021. We are sure that we will deliver it next year. I want to put air quotes around that.
Strong words.
I'm putting invisible air quotes around that. It was not even internally planned for a certain day, so it's hard to say whether there is a potential delay of the next gen. I'm guessing that he means the next gen version of the game, not the consoles.
I think he might be referring to like if they delayed the consoles, but I don't know why that would affect him that much.
No, yeah, I
You
wouldn't
can
think
still
so.
develop it.
End of story article.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Like, because of the first article we've already covered, I'm not even going to listen to like any dates that they mention.
Yeah, I would skim over the dates.
It comes when it comes.
The main thing is you're going to get a free version of it if you've already got the previous version purchased, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that will work for digital or disc.
I don't want to be out of date. I like playing new games when they're new. It's, like that shiny toy, right? So I have a hard time thinking that I'm not getting this day one, but, launching it now, right when the PS5s are going to come out, do I want a PS4 copy? It's backwards compatible. Okay, great, awesome, fine. But now you're talking about this one too, where it's just going to look that much better. And knowing how like grand it's probably going to be in size, I don't think this is a game I'm going to want to replay.
I'm thinking the exact same thing in my head.
So then if I play it once, do I wait for this update? So at least when I play it, it's going to look the best it's ever looked.
Yeah, like it's one of those games where it's like Witcher 3. I put X amount of hours, so many hours into that. Right now, I think there's a free version on GOG you can get if you have a previously purchased copy of the game. I have no intention of wanting to go back and play that game because I put so many hours into it.
Oh, for sure.
I loved it, don't get me wrong, but it's not a game open world games are really cool. I think if you want to experience everything like once, if you want to do it multiple times, I don't know.
Well, some of the magic and whimsy disappears.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Like I don't think I've ever gone back and replayed an Assassin's Creed or anything like that. Like it's just, why?
Well, and again, I have nothing against people replaying things, but I was talking to you that with The Last of Us 1 or 2. I never replayed Last of Us 1. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. At the time, it was definitely game of the year for me. Amazing this, amazing that. Same with God of War. And these are games I hold in high regard. I've never played them again.
No, I don't often go back to playing something unless it's like a goofy multiplayer one that you can play with your friends. Like, there's very few. Actually, now that I think about it, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I did go back and replay it, but that was because I got maybe about 70% of the way through, and then something happened to my save file. It didn't get corrupted. I think I switched hard drives, and somehow I deleted my save game by accident in that process. And apparently Uplay had stopped its cloud service at that point too, which pissed me off. So I had to restart it, which I didn't actually mind doing it because Black Flag is considered one of the best ones, and it's not a huge world either.
It's pretty big if you think
It's
about
a
all
lot
the
of
islands you
water.
got. Yeah, it's a lot of water and nonsensical islands.
Yeah, and some islands just have like a fort on it, and that's about it. So it wasn't like the end of the world to have to redo that one. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, unless the game has multiple endings or like a path where you're good and evil, like I suspect Cyberpunk's probably going to have two major endings, like a good guy and a bad guy ending type thing.
Yeah, or more. Like, I mean,
Who knows? We haven't said much, so
No.
it's hard to guess. But is it going to be one of those ones where it's like, okay, I'll play the game the one time, get as much as I can the first time. Okay, I got those ones done. Now I'll wait for the PS5 version and play the other way on that one. Maybe, I don't know. Me, like I said, as you guys know, I tend to go for the trophies. So as soon as I have the game, I'm probably going to go for them all. And I suspect when the PS5 version comes out, the trophies are going to be like a shared thing where it's like some games you could get the trophies on PS3, PS4, and whatever, Vita or something, but it's only one set of trophies as opposed to other games. Some games have like the PS3 versions of the trophies and then the Vita versions of the trophies, so you can actually get them twice.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't care about trophies.
Yeah, this is where my head goes.
Yeah, but I just don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. I think with a console launch, some game titles that I do care about, Valhalla being one of the most anticipated games for me this year, I might be busy. And honestly, like, we got a new Call of Duty, which I don't usually care about, but if they do something crazy for the new console, maybe I'll get it. You got Assassin's Creed supposedly coming around the same time. I just feel like I'm going to have things to do, and I probably could wait because of just the way it's all going to drop. And if that's the case, then yeah, honestly, I'm thinking of canceling my pre-order. And like, I kind of feel bad about that, but in the same sense, they kind of put me in a corner.
I was at first almost tempted to, at this point, cancel it and just wait for the PS5 version. But if they're going to give the free upgrade, then I might as well just keep my pre-order because it's a deal anyway.
Yeah, I'm weird. I definitely switched, and like maybe a lot of people have, so if you agree or disagree, whatever, but I'm definitely more digital.
Oh yeah,
I'm starting to get that lazy convenience thing, and I just don't sell games anymore. Like, if I'm done with the game, like even Anthem, I have it physical, I don't play it, I never intend to play it again, but I still don't want to drive somewhere and try to get $2 for it.
Yeah, sell it to somebody.
I'm going to lose gas getting there to get $2.
Come to me and pick it up.
Yeah, so like digital just makes sense to me now.
Yeah, the only time I've ever really, occasionally the family has like a garage sale and I'll, whatever I really don't give a shit about, I'll bring it there and sell it, whatever, $5-10, depending on what system it's for.
Like if Amazon would say like, hey, we'll give you the digital with that
digital
same
code.
with that same pre-order price, for sure I'd keep it. But now that I know it's physical, now that I know all these problems, I don't know. I kind of just feel like, yeah, I might just cancel it.
Yeah.
And I'm less excited for it now than ever because of all this stuff.
I'm not less or more excited for it. I'm just disappointed in that we have to wait another however. Like now, what are we waiting for now? Like, there's nothing coming. Is there anything coming out soon that we care about? Like that was the next one, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
So now it's like
I have Baldur's Gate 3 in August.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, that one.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of early access, but if anybody's going to do it right, it'll probably be them.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think of any like AAA company title games.
No, look, honestly, it feels like we're going to wait for a lot of things.
November.
Yeah.
Start saving money for November because I can't think of anything that's coming out in the upcoming future that really I care about that much, which is probably okay because I got a little bit of a backlog now. So, but
yeah, like we still don't have dates. Like I just brought up that most anticipated list we were talking about. So I brought up like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Well, there was no release date on that.
Ghost of Tsushima, I guess. That's next month.
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
July. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's the next one. Forgot about that one.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have that. That's good.
And then there'll be a gap.
Yeah, Elden Ring. There's still no information on that.
Yeah.
Tales of Arise. I got no dates on that.
Yeah.
Watchdog Legions. I think that honestly, I could.
Did they have their show yet? Because weren't they having an
No,
event?
it's not yet. It might be in July now.
Okay.
But hopefully they have a date. Like just from how little Ubisoft's been talking about anything, maybe they'll come out swinging. Maybe they're going to do that thing that I was just talking about, where they're like, "Hey, not only are we getting you hyped, but you're going to get that this year." Oh my god, that'd be great. So I'm gonna try to be optimistic for once in my life. But if they don't talk about it anymore, then I'm like, okay, that's 2021. Like,
Yeah.
we're at the better end of 2020 already. And then what do I got? Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope. I think that's the only thing. But they delayed Madame Medan, so who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, after Ghosts, and then there's pretty much a gap up until November.
Yeah, which I'm used to nothing in the summer anyway.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
That's
can
where
go back
Ghost
into
of
the backlog.
Tsushima is like actually a breath of fresh air. 'Cause when do you ever get a good game in July usually?
Not in my recollection.
Exactly. So honestly, I can almost thank The Last of Us delay for getting us a game in July.
Yeah.
That's enough of that topic. I think we all have expressed our opinions. Topic number 3, EA Play Live 2020. Everything announced and revealed. This one comes from IGN yet again. EA Play Live 2020 is EA's chance to show off all its upcoming games to the world, and we are here to recap each and every announcement. I just took all the games basically that they announced and listed them here, and me and Chris will just
react to them as we go through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So their first one that they talked about was Apex Legends. Legends will be headed to Steam and Nintendo Switch later this fall. So they kind of touched on Battle Pass or Battle Season 5.
Yeah, there's Season 5, and then they were talking about a treasure event or something.
I think that's just its name.
Yeah, that's probably what it's just called, I guess. They announced a couple things during the trailer. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, it's Apex Legends. I enjoy the game. I play it occasionally. So now that it's on Steam, it's one less game I have to have.
But now it's for Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to see the worst looking version, right?
Yeah, of course.
I thought that's what the Switch existed for.
We do like to zing Nintendo when we can.
Oh, can't I? Mother, can't I? That's enough of Apex. We're gonna go.
That's also not a new game either. So that's we'll keep track of actual new announcements.
Keep track of that. The next one, The Sims 4 is now available on Steam. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, this is some of the same problems I had with PlayStation's conference is the same I have here. It's like, why are you talking about this?
It's just one less game I have to have an Origin. Hopefully,
I know like Steam people are probably thrilled, and don't get me wrong, like Sims obviously makes money. They wouldn't have 85 expansion packs for a single standalone game unless it made money.
Yeah, I had The Sims 4 on PC, and then I picked up the free version on PlayStation Plus a couple months ago. So
I think I did too, just for my wife.
So, but keep in mind that's not another new game.
Yeah, it's new to Steam.
It's new to Steam.
Ooh. Hazel Lights. Joseph Fares announces It Takes Two.
I was totally weirded out by that one.
I couldn't.
It seemed like though it was a world announcement trailer for him.
This kind of
the game.
This reminds me of Ubisoft when they talked about the what is that game again? I can't remember it. The girl Beyond, or is it not Beyond? Beyond Good and Evil? When they talked about the sequel to that one?
Yeah, there's a sequel that's going to be coming for that one.
So when they first talked about it...
Is it Ubisoft, though?
Yes. I believe it was. So yeah, anyway, Ubisoft producing that one, and they came out and they showed nothing. It was all concept art. They did kind of tell everyone in air quotes, like, don't expect this tomorrow. So at least they kind of set the expectation. I get the same vibe from this. They showed me a lot of concept art.
Yeah, there was a lot of concept art.
I guess the only gameplay I think that I saw was just level design.
Yeah.
So I don't have a feeling either way. It looks indie.
Early.
So it's probably not going to be something I'm like dying for. But I'm going to reserve like my final opinion, obviously, till it comes out.
It didn't say enough about the game. Like he was talking about how you can play with your emotions and how that's going to affect new things that you've never seen before in a game. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, all I really remember from the whole thing was how much he loves himself.
And that roller coaster.
Yeah, and the roller coaster. And then, so that's one new game. So you got 1 point on the board. Now we got Zoink Games announces Lost in Random. This is actually an indie game that spoke to me. Praise Jesus and all of his friends.
You liked the art style.
I did like the art style. It looked like stop animation, which I always love in movies. It looked a little like Nightmare Before Christmas, a little Tim Burton-esque, if you will. And that got me. You know, the gameplay probably is not going to be phenomenal, whatever. But I actually, just from what I've seen, I might pick this up.
Yeah, it looked interesting. It's not. I think what was the first thing I said? Spend $15 on that.
Yeah,
I'd spend $15 on that.
I definitely want to pay like $80 or $60 full price tag on that thing, but whatever. After that, we have Rocket Arena. Yay. They definitely emphasized rockets are in this game. Rockets.
What was my? Did you know? Yeah, did you see? There was rockets.
There's rockets.
My first impression was Overwatch and Smash combined together.
Yeah, and I brought it up last week with that Derby game. Just everything's Overwatch now. Hero-based games that are cartoonish in appearance with some gimmick.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, I think I said this to you, and this could just be me being mean. No one's going to play this a year after. I could see dead servers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun for a while, but it does seem like a game that's just gonna. I don't think people are gonna play it for
like
a long
how
time.
many wannabe Overwatches have we seen come and go? Like, where's God damn, was it called Paragon? I think that's gone.
Isn't there one called Paladins?
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I can't remember. But that
yeah,
one,
there's
one's
been a whole
gone.
bunch.
And then I know the guy who made Twisted Metal tried to make one that was supposed to be more like traversal and everyone's jumping or flying, and that one died in like record time. Like that one just dropped off huge.
That was the one from the Gears of War guy.
Maybe that's
Cliff,
what it was. Yeah, I thought it was Cliff. Yeah,
yeah, he made that one.
Yeah, and that died record time.
Yeah, that one died pretty quick. That was 2 years ago.
And I think he even announced another one, or another guy announced one, and it didn't even get like full release before that one just did so bad.
I mean, I understand wanting to capitalize on the same type of concept and battle royale games. They just went crazy.
Well, you saw Overwatch do good. You see Fortnite.
And
they all have
Look at that.
Yeah,
we could do that.
They got the cartoonic like aesthetic, and then you're right. They all just want to be like, hey, I think there's more money to be grabbed here. Let's get a piece of that pie.
The new one that's just came out a little while ago, Valorant.
Yes,
which is a combination of CS:GO and Overwatch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've seen some reviews of it, and I know there's heavy cheating on it from what it looked like. But
what, cheating on a PC game?
Huh?
Yeah,
that's a new concept.
I know.
But yeah, it looked very. I mean, I'm sure CS:GO people are probably going to try it out.
I feel like I'm just going to get banned for opening it on my PC. Just like opening up the.
Well, your tablet was dying on you today, so.
Hey, I got.
You couldn't even open up Chrome.
Chrome hates.
I got to work in those.
Yay. Maybe we haven't tested it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's a new game. So I guess they have that on the resume. Then we have Star Wars Squadrons gameplay reveal. So this is probably, I guess, their biggest news bomb, in my opinion.
Was it gameplay? I mean,
yeah, they showed gameplay.
There's no HUD, so I didn't.
Well, your ship was its first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess it was gameplay.
First-person flight shooter. I don't know.
So I'm sure any flying Star Wars fans going to be excited for this.
Yeah, like I don't like this isn't a day one for me, but I'm actually optimistic about it, and I think I'm just happy for people that liked, other Squadron-like games from the past that were Star Wars, and I could see this going on sale one day, and like because they talked about the VR stuff, I'm like, yeah, I would give it a try, no doubt.
Yeah, it seems like the concept was pretty much there was a demo that they released on the Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's one of the ship, same thing as this game. It was a VR demo that you could play, which sounds like they turned into this whole concept of the Star Wars Squadrons. So maybe the demo did well. Maybe they got. I kept meaning to try it because I have the VR headset, but I ended up never trying it.
I read a little bit more too, and it will have a first single player story, which is good news. Whether that's good or not, we just have to wait and see. They're apparently coming out swinging, saying no microtransactions. This isn't a games of service game. Things that I like to hear. So then it makes me even more hopeful that this does well, just so, us Star Wars fans can get more.
You mean I can't upgrade like my turrets so that they look like different colored artsy gold gun turrets or shoot different colored lasers?
I want a Jetfire that's just, or what the hell is the TIE Fighter? I want a gold-plated TIE Fighter.
I want lasers that are the color.
Nice. They shoot Now,
The color changes as it goes
I don't
through
know
the
this
sky.
meme. I forget it, but
Space.
is it Meow Meow or Meow Meow Cat? I
Meow
want
Meow
them to
Cat?
shoot him and be like,
Uh,
yeah. And then, okay, so enough of that. Then we got EA Sports montage trailer. More EA Sports games. I don't know, like Chris mentioned before. Get ready to pay $60 for updated rosters and sweat mechanics.
and repurchase all those other packs and stuff that you want, because that's how they get you.
Well, especially FIFA. Like, we can say things about the other ones, but I always hear, because I don't play it, but I always hear FIFA's the most predatory microtransaction game I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
So if you like losing your money, then do it. Then we got a weird video of like possible next gen technology about they didn't really announce it, but they made it pretty obvious that we were looking at new Dragon Age stuff from BioWare. We got some Battlefield stuff, apparently Need for Speed, stuff like that. The only two that look good to me is Dragon Age. They showed a few scenery.
Yeah, some pulsating
Yeah,
thing.
so I'm like, it looked good. Like, it looked
yeah.
dark and cool. Definitely less colorful than the last one, which appeals to me personally. Battlefield, they showed a face, and that looked really good if it's not just a cutscene, which is always my fear with these things. But yeah, that was just a weird kind of video. And then to top it off after the video, they basically thank you for joining, and then they announced that they're finally going to do Skate again. They didn't give us a title, even close to a date, mainly just saying that they're starting to think about doing it and look forward to that.
Yeah, they made it sound like the community really wanted a sequel or another one of these games, which I never played any of the Skate ones. I did the Tony Hawk ones back in the day, so I didn't realize Skate was so
great
popular.
in its own way. Like, I did like it. It was more realistic. I mean, obviously, it's limited. Like, it's not going to be complete accuracy, but it was definitely different than like a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah,
You're
well,
not,
and that's the thing.
You're
is,
not
though,
flying off of helicopters and doing this other stuff. It was just, I had fun. Even the base demo level, I remember playing over and over before it was released. I'm just on like a flat piece of sidewalk, and then, but the way the analogs worked, it was revolutionary in like the way it controlled, and I liked what they were doing. And I look forward to this. Again, not a day one, but I wouldn't doubt I get it at some point.
yeah, I'm just wondering if Skate did so well because there wasn't any Tony Hawks coming out. 'Cause I don't think there were. So I'm wondering if it's just that market it needed something to fill it, so that's why Skate did well. I'm not trying to bring down Skate, because whatever, you get what you get, but I mean, I'm just wondering if that's why it did so much better. Like, I'm wondering if this remastered
Definitely it was
Pro
at the
Skater
tail
1
end
and 2.
of the Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the remaster of the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 was gonna do really good. I'm gonna be curious to see how well those do.
I think they'll do good because people love nostalgia.
Yeah.
There's always games coming out where I'm like, who wants this? And then I hear about how it's on the top 10 chart, and I'm just like, okay, guess people want that. Like, you even bringing up Spyro, I'm like, really? People buy that? And then you enjoy it. I know Curtis enjoyed it. So, I'm wrong, clearly. So yeah, I don't know what you want to give it as a grading. I rated
the show.
Yeah, because I rated PlayStations, and I think I was a B-, my optimistic B-. I know I was definitely an odd one out with that review, but I just thought they spoke purely to indie people and E for Everyone games, which don't interest me at all. I feel like they just threw out a lot of things to make us say, wow, that's a lot of things, but not anything with substance.
I didn't see anything that I gave a shit about.
Okay.
Like, the only thing I care about is, hey, maybe I can convert some of my games to Steam as opposed to Origin.
Yeah.
To get rid of Origin maybe down the road.
It definitely was something they were pounding in that
And
conference.
other than Dragon Age, which they didn't even technically really show, like we think that was Dragon Age. It looks like it was.
Yeah.
But they didn't confirm it or anything, so that means it's not coming out in the next 6 months probably.
No, I wouldn't.
So, I don't know. There's nothing that interests me.
I like the random game, but you're right. If you're talking about day one buys, nothing here is the day one buy. So I think I'm going to give it a C-.
That's what I was thinking around. Yep. I'll agree with C-.
Okay, cool. So we both agree for once, and you have your official home of play score of a C-.
It was goofy. It was like goofily was scripted weird too. It was just they tried to make it more, I guess, entertaining and
Yeah, they try to
eh.
bring Greg Miller in. Like, I think this is his second year doing it, just to try to bring some like human appeal to it, because everyone else comes off like a robot that was quickly put together just before they went live. But yeah, that's our grading. So we're just going to go on to number 4, a big one for PlayStation fans, or at least old school PlayStation fans, and possibly Chris. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time is apparently what it's titled. I kept reading that as like, are people just mad that it's taken so long? No, it is actually called It's About Time, and it is leaked by a ratings board. This one comes from Game Informer.
The Taiwan Digital Game Rating Committee has rated the unannounced Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Toys for Bob, the studio behind the well-received Spyro Reignited trilogy of remasters, is developing this title. Here's some of the background for the game as well. Crash is relaxing and exploring his island in his time, 1998, when he finds a mysterious mask hidden away in a cave. Lanny Loli. Mask is one of the quantum masks and apparently knows Aku Aku, Crash's mask friend. With the quantum masks returning and a quantum rift appearing near our heroes, they decided to bravely head through to different times and dimensions to stop whoever is responsible for, I guess, creating the rifts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Crash dude. I don't know why, but when I got the PlayStation, like the original one, I never played these games. I've never played a Crash game. But again, I'm not a platformer, so I'd have nothing against him. And the more people are happy because of his existence, I have fondness because he's like a PlayStation mascot. Not anymore. He's kind of a dirty whore and he's going to all the consoles now. But at the time he was.
I wish I had something more to add too, but my opinion's the same. I never really played them. I played, I think, maybe the first one, maybe a half couple levels, but not nothing more than like, I'd be shocked if I had more than 2 hours under my belt.
Yeah.
Playing this game. I think I played one of the racing ones.
Oh yeah, the Nitro Kart.
Yeah, one of them. I don't know, but yeah,
That one's got high praise, and they just remastered that recently too.
yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't say much to this, but it's probably going to be well liked for the most part.
I it's the same people that did your Spyro, so
Yeah, and I just started playing the Spyro one a little bit this week. Probably put maybe 3 or 4 hours into number 1 and number 2, and it's been good. They did a good job remastering it. Looks good. The characters kind of look a little bit different, but in a more realistic way than the blocky way it did back in PlayStation 1 times.
So yeah, if you like Crash Bandicoot, good news. We're finally getting not just a remake, remaster, anything like that. You are actually getting a sequel. So we'll have to figure out. Hopefully, it comes with more goofy, fun-loving commercials where a guy's just in a mascot. I like those commercials.
Oh yeah, the mascot commercials. Yeah,
I like those. I'm old. Topic number 5. Rumored AT&T is offering Warner Brothers game division for sale. This one comes from VentureBeat and is a mouthful. So, bring your sleeping bag?
AT&T is offering its Warner Brother Interactive Entertainment division up for sale, according to a CNBC report. Citing unnamed sources, CNBC said Friday that potential bidders include Take-Two Interactive, Electronic Arts, and Activision Blizzard. If the sale happens, it would be a major change for Hollywood and its relationship with the industry, as most major studios are opting to get out of the game business, reversing a trend from earlier decades where they loaded up on dev studios. So what are your thoughts on this one?
This could be major, in my opinion. Hopefully for the positive. I don't know if AT&T is to blame, but Warner Bros. Interactive, in my opinion, and like I'm even including EA, is probably one of the most predatory game developers / producer out there right now. All their games, the ones I just jump to right away is only because I've spent the most time with them, but Mortal Kombat is so bad for microtransactions, and just the way the game's made, it's to lock you in for long periods of time until it wears you down to the point that you just want to buy everything. The problem with Mortal Kombat, though, you can't even buy everything. You literally are just forced to constantly hope that every day you check in, the one thing you want to unlock right then is available for purchase. And that, I think, is their sneaky way of protecting themselves, being like, oh, no, it's not all buy everything. We just do it this way for this sake. And it's just like, well, no, like, it's quite obvious you want people to buy things, especially when the prices of everything's super outrageous. And this is not the only example. There's tons of games that they put out that are just all around microtransactions.
Yeah, I can't, off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of any, but I'm actually just pulling up a list. They deal with a lot of the Lego, not movie, but Lego games, including the one that was the movie. They have the Hitman games, which that's a pretty popular series for the most part. Mortal Kombat, you said, that's obviously very, very popular.
Yep.
There's Scribblenauts, which I've heard of, and I think a lot of people play those. The Shadow of War series, which I didn't even realize was Warner Brothers.
Yep.
And then I think the Batman games.
Well, anything that like DC's all Warner Brothers, right? So
yeah,
they get to keep a lot of those properties just by default.
Yeah, so a lot of them are the Telltale ones.
Yeah. Batman would be like Rocksteady, usually having a pretty close relationship with them. Usually like they're the best I've seen do like without the microtransactions and blah blah blah. Don't get me wrong, they do a lot of DLC stuff. I thought Arkham Knight was weird. There's so many DLCs for it, and they were all like 2 minutes long, and it just was not worth the price. They had one of the craziest passes that I recalled at that year. Anyway, I thought it was like $50, and when I broke it all down, it just was not worth that price.
One of my favorite Warner Brothers games, which I didn't mention earlier, is the Fear games, which they haven't released a new Fear game in quite a while, but I remember when the first Fear game came out, I was super stoked because there was one scene where they show him walking through water, and I was like, this is the next gen of water special effects in games, because it looked freaking amazing, and it still looks good even today. So, yeah, I'll be curious to see where this goes. I don't particularly want one of the major companies picking it up, because I think they're already too big, some of them.
Well, it'd be kind of heartbreaking if you found out. I mean, not that like PlayStation has Spider-Man, but can you imagine if Microsoft now has all Batman?
Ugh, that'd be crazy.
And that Harry Potter game, if that ever comes out.
Yeah.
Like then
and
they would.
Do
have
you
that.
want EA owning more favorite titles? I don't know.
If it means they're actually going to release something, I'm interested. You know, we just talked about how we're not that interested in anything they showed at the EA Live.
Yeah, so
maybe that would be good for them, because it's like something that's like, yay.
Are they going to go for what gives them the most money for the sale, or what's the right thing to do for gamers?
Money.
Really?
AT&T? Money.
AT&T, yeah, it's going to be money. So
can you hear me now?
We'll be seeing these titles on EA probably.
Yeah, not too much to go in there. I just thought that was crazy. I didn't think I'd be seeing like a big studio like that, especially they have just so many studios under them as well. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So now we're done with the news. We're moving on to our Last of Us Part 2 impressions. This is the impressions for me and Chris, and I will let Chris start with his current, I believe, 5 or 6 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, I'm 5 or 6 hours in. I did the intro. Obviously, I'll keep this spoiler free. I got to the first, I assume it's first, kind of open world area, sort of. I don't know how much bigger the game goes, obviously. I've heard some hour expectations of 20 to 40 somewhere. So it's the first open area, which has been pretty cool. Game looks amazing. The audio's great. I love the banter between the characters. The game, I'm someone who gets attached to characters pretty easily. TV shows, game characters, all that kind of stuff. So once this started, I was kind of back in it right away. And there's some spots that hit you in the feels right at the beginning, within the first 3 hours of the game. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. Some other things that we've pointed out, we have written down here, is some stuff that looked really cool is like the reflections in the mirrors. Did you catch those?
Oh yeah,
they look really good. I'm like, holy crap! This, like, it's such a small thing. They put a lot of detail into the small things in the game, which is really impressive, and I really enjoy so far. Like I said, I'm not too deep in it yet. You know, finding collectibles and trading cards, I guess, and some other stuff. But the combat's been good. I haven't fought against other humans yet, I don't think. It's just been the creatures, the monsters, or whatever. Clickers and the runners. And the combat seems pretty good. The aiming, I feel like I'm a little bit off in my aiming, but that's probably because I've been doing more stealth, so I haven't actually had to shoot the gun too many times. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it so far. How about you?
Yeah, I'm somewhere down the middle there. I wrote some stuff down during my play. I am further than Chris. I believe I'm 9-10 hour mark right now. Um, he touched on the feels. Um, Good luck with hour 7 or 8. Me of all people almost cried. But then okay, so I wrote down some quick notes. I thought the start was pretty slow. I get it though. That's a lot of games. I just for some reason it rubbed me a little bit wrong, so I wasn't as hyped near the start. But I did grow on it. Don't get me wrong. It gets a lot better. Saving's fast. Reloading's really fast. To touch on that more though, that's also one of my biggest gripes with the game so far is the save system. Especially, I think my biggest problem is I'm coming right off of Dishonored 2, and it has, much like Hitman, one of the best save systems where the position you're looking is the same. If you had something in your hand, it's a perfect save. And then I go on to this, and just now where I'm trying to do, it's in my head, I'm doing it myself, but I want to do these perfect stealth or like just pure avoidance scenarios, and I'm failing, so I want to restart, and it keeps putting me back to the same area. It doesn't matter where I save, what I do, it's a checkmark system. It puts you back, but it doesn't remember anything you did in that area. So I'm constantly grabbing, it's not a huge amount, but I'm grabbing the same 4 or 5 items, and then I have to replay the thing, fail, grab the same 4 or 5 items, and it's just driving me nuts. It's a small gripe, but now that I've had to replay that section like 4 or 5 times, it brought me to the point where I rage quit because I just didn't want to pick up 4 or 5 items to just fail the same thing again.
Can't you just manually save it?
That is my manual save. It works that poorly.
So if you pick up those 4 items and do a manual save, it's still up to a certain checkpoint.
Yet for some reason, like from the little testing I've done, journal entries and reading things will carry over. But yeah, for that one reason, I can't explain to you why. Like it's the weirdest thing, but
the game does load really quick. Like when you first turn the game on, the loading does take a while to get into the game. But once you're in, I'm not really seeing loading screens between scenes. Sometimes it shows a scenery shot, but then it's like 2 seconds, and then I've died a couple times, and it takes maybe 5 seconds to reload your
and I don't feel like the loading thing as much as other games. Like one of my biggest disappointments this year was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it suffered huge from all this like shifting, shimmying, and squeezing, and this and that, and how long that stuff would take in, especially a straight hallway map. It seemed ridiculous, but a lot of people are, speculating that it's because it had load issues, and that's how they were trying to load the next part of the level without just putting a blatant load screen on you. This does all that without that. I very rarely feel like they're trying to load something in the background while I'm preoccupied with some baloney. Quite often, I'm actually amazed by how it's running. And like I said, even with all those little details with the mirror and other things like that, the wet clothes, it rains and suddenly your hair is shiny. I'm like, okay, all great.
Putting her hood on.
Yeah, I thought I said to Chris too, one of the few games where you're going to see a character actually put an article of clothing on. Wasn't a huge deal, but she put on her jacket. I'm like, you don't see that a lot. A lot of companies will shy away the camera if they're trying to do anything with clothing.
Otherwise, you get that stretchy clothing because it glitches
and just boxy looking.
Yeah.
I put graphics are amazing, and yeah, all that. That's kind of like the few thoughts in my little bit of time. But AI, I've heard some people really talk highly of the AI. They're like, oh, they're not just generic routes. Unless you do something, they are. I've seen people just do the same routes for a long time.
There's a couple right at the beginning where they're walking in the snow.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's clearly the same route. Yep. I mean, if you get involved or you make a noise, then they'll change.
Then everything changes.
You can time the pattern.
And you can change their patterns by just even throwing a bottle in from what I've seen so far. So there's some variance, but it's still whatever. But it's good AI. The clickers are interesting. They're like my least favorite part of that game, just because, they're all annoying in their own way. Like, oh, one can't see you and one can kind of see you, but somehow none of them understand what light is. I'm just like, you wouldn't even feel the warmth on your skin. But I'm like, whatever. It's fine. Definitely one of the better games I've played in a while, for sure. It's just, if you're talking about from just a production stand of view, it's amazing.
Yeah. It feels very cinematic and almost at certain times. I feel like I put the controller down. It's like just enjoying the movie that I'm watching. And,
Yeah,
and then you could see where the camera's starting to shift. It's like, oh, I gotta play.
Yeah,
and it's like I was happy with just watching.
I think that's how I explained to the wife. It's a dark Game of Thrones meets Walking Dead movie.
Yeah.
Very cinematic. I love that part about it. There's no doubt. Just the characters they make and the stuff they do. Just high praise all around there. Like if we're just going from like the story and the characters and the dialogue, like I don't know. A quick number. I would say 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's the best feature of that game.
Yeah. I love the banter between the characters. Like there's times where it's like I stop moving my character. Sometimes I don't want a new audio track to kind of click in and screw up my conversation. But yeah, the banter between the characters is just it's made me laugh already a couple times.
And in the 7 to 8 hour mark, there was an interaction that happened or a scenario I had to go through, and like I'm sure other games have done it before, but it was crazy and it was memorable to me, and I'm just like, God damn, like I went into that game not liking it just because of it's been forever since I played the first one, so I wasn't really giving it too many nostalgia points. The start was slow, having issues with the save, and then all of a sudden I hit that. I'm like, God damn, like this game now, like then I was wanting to play Dishonored 2 less and less, and I'm like, that speaks volumes. So I'm like, yeah, like it's just another home run for Sony, honestly.
Yeah. I won't give a rating on the game or anything at this point, but
no, same.
It definitely, just based off my initial impressions, it's definitely worth the purchase.
Yes, I would say definitely.
Full price.
If we're going like rent, buy, or pass, like it's buy for sure.
Yeah, definite buy for sure.
So I think that's everything we need to say. We're only in the like, I'm probably not even 25% done. But I might be. But either way, there's more to come. I assume I'll be done this by the next episode. I assume anyway, unless a bunch of things come up, but then maybe I can give you my final tale. We'll see what I think. But yeah, that's it. There's no homework for this week either. Just I think anything major that came out, we've already kind of touched on. So, chew on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that's our feelings, and we're shutting it down there. Thanks for joining us for another week. We appreciate the support. Thanks for listening to the show, and your two hosts are signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I wouldn't. You are relatively healthy right now, as far as I know.
As far as
but
we know.
I mean, you never know.
There might be a lump on my left testicle. I don't know.
Just a finger.
Can you just clasp it? Tell me if you think it's heavier than the other.
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
We're not that close. I did
pretty close,
quote
not
us
that
as,
close.
in the intro. I did say the two best friends, but apparently we're not best friends.
Is that what's in the line where it says best friends?
Yeah.
We'll check body.
You didn't sign that paper, apparently.